You guys ready?
Yeah, let's go.
I think we got that out of our system.
We had to complain. All right. Yellow jackets. I'll talk about it in a minute. Hello, friends and fiends. Welcome to Bugs Need Heroes, a podcast illustrating the inspiring abilities of insects. I'm Amanda.
And I'm still Kelly.
Oh, still working at it. Before we get started on creating this bug-themed character, what's bugging you, Kelly?
Oh boy. Can I just tell you, this morning, my husband and I were looking out the window and we can see our sister tower. We're in Twin Towers. And across the way, a woman on the balcony was disassembling a whole chicken on the ground on her balcony.
Oh my gosh. Just straight up, just like, okay, time to make this carcass a meal.
She had a knife, and I watched her like. You're drinking, so I'm a little concerned. I don't want you to spit it out. But she had a knife, and she just pulls the leg off and puts it in a little bucket. And I saw a wing come off, and my husband is like, she's disassembling a chicken on the balcony. And
Why
I thought, what's wrong with her kitchen? What does her kitchen look like that she's doing this?
It's
on
full
the balcony?
of 28 more chickens. Oh my gosh.
It was quite the sight this morning.
One of the things I've tried to do over COVID was I was trying to get more aware of like where my food comes from. I had this one friend who she spent a whole year and she didn't eat anything that she didn't do herself. So her whole garden, she was allowed to purchase things that like she couldn't reasonably grow. But the big thing she wanted to do was not eat any meat that she didn't procure herself.
Wow,
And
that's a tall task.
yeah, it changed her whole relationship with food. Particularly because she was raising chickens, and so she was only eating meat when she was willing to do the work of preparing a chicken. I'm not sure how much this will make it to the podcast because we're trying to be friendly. We don't need to trigger anyone with our meat talk.
I can't imagine only eating meat that I had to process. That is difficult.
Yeah, so it was this whole thing where she was only eating what she was killing, and so it changed how much she thought about like how much meat we eat as a society, especially as Americans, and where that comes from and what it means. And like, she's not by any means like an anti-meat person, obviously, because she was willing to eat these chickens, but she just wanted to be aware of like what eating meat really means. And so I just thought it was really interesting, and the way she talked about it really made me think about like, yeah, I do just kind of, go get meat from the grocery store, and I'm not very like aware of it, so I'm trying to like,
I'm not thinking about
be
it.
more aware. Yeah, exactly. That like I just think, there's a lot involved with eating meat. Is all I'll say about that. So I'm trying to like reduce that sort of stuff.
I can't get much more aware than watching a woman disassemble a chicken on a balcony.
You're very aware. At least today you are extremely aware. It's like those Top Chef shows are like, and now here's Gordon Ramsay disassembling a chicken in 28 seconds.
Oh, I'm so terrible at it. It takes me forever. I need kitchen shears, not a knife. I'm just,
my sensory issues don't really allow me to touch raw meat very easily. It really grosses me out. Something about the texture of particularly those raw chicken breast like fillets like really get me. So luckily I married a chef, and tip for the food wary out there, marry someone else who does the cooking.
Nice. Well, what's bugging you, Amanda?
What's bugging me? I don't know. I'll tell you what's not bugging me. I'm trying to be positive. Yeah. I'm trying to keep it positive on the cast. We went to an apple farm on a few days ago, and I had some apple cider, fresh squeezed, at the farm. And let me tell you,
oh, that sounds so good.
I always forget that apple cider is the best drink on the planet until I have some. And I'm like, this is the best drink on the whole planet. The whole planet. And I stand by that.
I'm trying to think of something better, and I can't off the top of my head.
And I don't wanna sound like a like a connoisseur of ciders here when I say, like, you drink it and at first you're like, "Oh, it's tasty," but then it's got, like, all these layers to it, and, like, you can really taste the whole apple in a cider when it's all pressed fresh. It wa yeah, there's nothing better than a fresh cider from a farm.
Well,
Well,
Derek is saying Slurpees, and I have to hard
no,
disagree.
hard to
Slurpees are gross. They're gross.
I'll tell you this, best of both worlds. This apple farm served the cider as a slushie. And they
Oh.
had little apple cider donuts, and let me tell you, I was living my best fall life. I was like, "Mhm, yes."
Oh, I would love that. Oh my,
Oh,
I
yeah, we
love an
crushed
apple
it, me and my
cider
son.
donut. I love
Uh,
an apple cider donut.
I was drinking apple cider slush and eating apple cider donuts while my son jumped inside of a giant inflatable apple. It was a great time. It was a beautiful day.
Well, I'm glad you had a really nice weekend.
I that at least was perfect. The only thing that was not perfect about it was today's subject, yellow jackets trying to eat my apples.
Did they come for you?
Oh, they came. I was shooing them away. It wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad. I think because I was in the, like, covered area where there wasn't a lot going on other than people shooing away yellow jackets. But if you stepped even, like, 10 feet away to closer to where the apple trees were, yeah, it like, you could practically hear the buzz of them, like, being like, "We gotta get these apples! Ah!"
Well, they love sweet things.
Yeah.
You know, they go for your soda can when you're at a picnic. They're just all over the place. And you know the fun part about them is if you wait for those apples to ferment and those wasps eat them, they will get drunk. So it's a good time.
So what I was really hearing was not the buzz of like, "We gotta get these apples." They were just like, "We gotta get more apples, you
Yeah,
guys.
yeah.
This is
They're having
great."
a party.
I have to tell the story. Brief interlude.
Yeah, tell me the story.
Every time someone talks about bugs and soda cans, I have to tell the story of we went camping when I was a kid. People are gonna know how weird our dad is, and we're packing up to go. We've just had lunch, and so there's like 5 half drank soda cans on the table because we're 8, 10, 6. We can't drink a whole can of pop. So my
Mhm.
dad's going shoop, 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 and drinking the leftover cans of pop. And of course, he gets to the strawberry kiwi on the end because of course it's got to be strawberry kiwi. 90 kids, shout out. And there was a yellow jacket, I assume, already in it. And so he drank this bug, and it
Oh
stung him on
no.
the lip. And about 40 minutes later, he stops the car to look at the kids. His lip must be an inch and a half tall. And he's like, "This is why you have to be careful about bees."
Oh no.
Like, "Dad, go to the emergency room." And he's like, "No, it's fine." And I'm like, "Dad!" And
Dads are
I
always fine.
they're always fine, right?
Dads are
They're
always
always like,
fine.
"Oh, I'll walk it off. I'll
Yeah.
walk it off." And I remember being like, "It's a good thing he's not allergic to bees," or in this case, yellow jackets, which we'll get into why those 2 things are different in a moment. But just yeah, it forever seared in my memory that don't drink cans of pop that have been left outside because there will be a bee in it, and your
Yeah,
dad will say,
always.
"It's fine. This is why you have to be careful about fish." I mean, you look like Donald Duck or Goofy. You've ever
Any
seen a dog that eats a bee?
Oh yeah.
Very similar shape.
Anytime I leave a soda can unguarded outside, I'm more likely to just dump that because I'm concerned. Concerned about yellow jackets.
I mean, so tasty. What more does a bug want than a strawberry kiwi Shasta in a can? It's cool and nice and strawberry kiwi. I can't think of a place where both those things grow. Like if you if you like left your natural devices, not a flavor profile that I think would be found in the wild.
I'm
So
pretty sure strawberry kiwi just tastes like sugar, right?
exactly, exactly. So
It's
it
just
just
sugar.
tastes like cloying.
Cloying
Uh,
sweets.
yeah, it's just melted candy into your mouth, strawberry kiwi.
Oh man, I went rafting on the Salmon River in Idaho a few years ago with my husband's family. Fantastic trip. And there was another family with us, And this young guy who was already like really quiet, you know, a young teenager, he made the mistake of taking a swig of soda without looking, and that yellow jacket stung him on the inside of the mouth.
Oh, jeez.
His both side of his face swelled up, and oh, it was terrible. Absolutely terrible. Yeah. He looked like a little puffer fish.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Ow, see, it's scary out there, man. The Yellow Jackets be where the Yellow Jackets find them. So, we should start with, how is a yellow jacket different than a bee? A wasp versus a bee? What really is the difference between the two? Is it like moths and butterflies where there's not really a difference, or is it they're really quite different? Like
No, they're
damselflies and dragonflies.
so the yellow jackets are not the ladies of the bee world, if that's what
No,
you were
no, that's
thinking.
true. I've learned my lesson about assuming the gender of bugs.
Oh no, they're completely different. Wasps and bees are very different groups, very different taxa.
Yeah. I just saw this meme that was going around that was it was all about how the genders of bugs, ants in particular, or maybe it was bees. It's like, if we're being honest, the genders are queen, worker, and drone, and you can't really assign male or female to them because it's not really a one-to-one thing. Like, we're just looking at it. What's that word you always accuse me of? Like
Anthropomorphism?
anthrocentric anthropomorphism. Yes,
Anthropomorphism, yeah.
but just like we center the human experience, so we experience things as if all things
Well,
experience things that way, and bees
well,
don't.
gender is a human social construct, so I think sex is the better term
Yeah,
for
I
what you're
guess that's true.
describing, right?
There goes me conflating the
Although the
two.
idea of bees having gender is interesting.
I've seen Bee Movie, okay? I know that there's there's little bees and they're wearing little sweaters,
Little
doing
skirts,
doing
yeah.
little gendered things.
But yeah, saying their sex is less male female and more job description is what you're saying.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
It was let me pull it up. It's like their actual genders are worker, drone, and queen. The queen is capable of both asexual and sexual reproduction. Bees are born with
Hmm.
of unfertilized eggs. They become drones. And they are capable of fertilizing eggs. Bees born with fertilized eggs become workers, but they could also potentially become a queen, depending on how they're fed during the larval stage. So, like, male, female, the binary doesn't really apply to these bees because that's not how their society works.
Yeah, I think, well, science and scientists, we do still view things from a human centric or anthropocentric viewpoint. So yeah, and
So
then
I will
science
a
changes
goal for me,
sometimes.
I will attempt to try and use sex instead of gender to not
Yes,
conflate the two ideas. When speaking of science and animals, I'm sorry, I'm trying to really zone
you're
it in
making
on
it
myself.
happen.
I'm making it happen.
Are you manifesting?
I'm manifesting it. My hands are to my temples so that I will remember. I am Charles Xavering it into my own brain that I, like Oprah, must make it happen for myself. I will refer to animals by their sex and not their gender.
Yes,
Ugh.
please.
Okay.
Yes. Humans, gender, animals, sex. Non human animals, if you want to be hyper specific, because we're still
Uh,
mammals.
Technically, yes.
Tech,
What's that
yes.
song? It's like, you are a human animal. Maybe, maybe I'm dating
I
myself.
don't know that one.
It's like this old, like from the 60s. It was this
Huh.
song. I'll have to look it up. I will send it to you later.
Yeah. So yellow jackets.
So yellow jackets, tell me how is a yellow jacket different from a
Different
bee?
than a bee. So
They both
yellow
have yellow
jackets,
stripes. They both fly.
right. So yellow jackets are smooth. You ever notice bees are pretty fuzzy?
Yeah, fuzzy little dudes.
Yellow jackets are about the size, a little smaller than a honeybee, than your average honeybee. The workers are, the queens are a little bit bigger. So that striping is along the abdomen, and you can kind of tell the difference between different species of yellow jacket by reading the abdominal stripes, although some of them look really similar. And I mean, there are other differences. Yellow jackets do not do the waggle dance, so they can't tell their friends where the food is.
Oh.
So when they go out on foraging missions, It's just every yellow jacket lady for herself.
Interesting. So, would you say that that makes them less social, or just that that's just not something that they do?
Oh, their social system is kind of bonkers. Um,
Oh,
so
oh.
they'll go out and forage, and there's this they're they have a dominance hierarchy among workers, which seems kind of, interesting because when we think of bees, all the workers are working for the greater good of the hive to get everything set up and the larvae fed. Yellow jackets maul each other. Like older yellow jackets will maul younger yellow jackets as this hierarchical thing, even when they're bringing food back in for the larvae. Sometimes they fight each other. Same sisters will fight each other over prey, and then neither one brings the prey back because they fought too hard. It's a They're aggressive. That aggressiveness changes their social structure.
That wow. Okay, okay. I don't wanna assume things here, but it sounds like a yellow jacket is a villain.
they're
Like, they've
they're
got,
stinging
like,
your
the
mouth. They're fighting each
they
other.
s they're s yeah, they maul one another, they're
Yeah.
bullying one another about, like, "That's my roadkill squirrel, I'll fight you for it."
And the younger yellow jacket being mauled will stand perfectly still and just let it happen. It's very
Oh, so
sad.
they're, like, also getting, like, fraternity hazed in?
Yeah.
They're like, "Yeah, alright, okay, sorry, my bad."
I mean, it could partially be for sister recognition, like maybe all that mauling, because if you were to maul another yellow jacket that didn't belong in your hive, that's going to be a fight. But if you're
Yeah.
mauling your sister and she just doesn't move,
Oh, she's like, yeah,
she's
okay."
okay coming back in. But I'm not 100% certain
Wow.
all the reasons they maul, but it's a weird
So,
feature.
this definitely feels very Spider-Man to Venom for me. Is very just like, here's, like, the cute what they're fuzzy, they make honey, they dance for each other, they take care of these their little larvae with their little nannies, and then you've got yellow jackets, and they will maul you, and they eat meat, and they fly around and sting you in the mouth. They're yellow jackets. Ah!
They're they're so weird. I put a video up on my TikTok and my Instagram a while ago of this yellow jacket that landed on a piece of my chicken,
Oh, yeah.
and I watched her slowly like cut the chicken apart and get a big chunk and then fly away with it. But it took her some time. She's like moving her abdomen around. She's got
Oh,
to get
wow.
leverage to pull that piece off. It was fascinating.
The first time I got stung by an insect, it was a yellow jacket, or I assume it was a yellow jacket
How,
because it
how
not
did it
only s
feel? I've never been stung by anything.
Really? You've
Like
never been
nothing.
stung? You've been bitten to high heaven
I've been bitten by
by
stuff, but
by
never stung.
skeeters,
Yeah.
but you've never been stung. So my first time getting stung, I was in a tree, so, like, partially my fault to start with. Get out of that tree, Amanda. Um, but it stung me, then bit me, then stung me again. So
Oh
it must have
no.
been something that can sting twice, and I was like, "What the heck? Why? I wasn't doing anything to you." It was after church, so I couldn't escape quickly of
Church clothes?
because of human performance of gender. I could not escape quickly. I was pissed about it. I remember being really mad because I was wearing like this shirt that had sparkly flowers on it. And so I blamed the sparkly flowers. I don't think I ever wore it again because I was
They
like,
do like bright colors.
yeah,
So,
I I have no one to blame but myself in a tree wearing a sparkly pink flower shirt. What was I to do but be stung? Uh yeah.
well,
So
that's another difference between bees and wasps. Bees have a barbed tail, a barbed stinger rather, and generally that can get stuck in your skin. So the bee can only sting once because it. I think we explained this in the last episode. It basically pulls its abdomen in half trying to get that stinger out.
oh,
It's a
poor
horrible way to
baby.
go. Um,
Horrible way to go. Do not recommend.
Wasps, their stingers are not barbed, so they can just keep stinging you repeatedly until they're out of venom, which I'm not even sure happens. So just repeatedly.
So we've been saying yellow jacket, and a yellow jacket is a type of wasp. I just want to
Yes.
be really clear. Okay,
So
okay.
there are two genera when we're talking about yellow jackets, and they're both very closely related. I'm For the sake of simplicity of this episode, we're talking about genus Vespula. The other genus has bald-faced hornets in it, things that look a little bit similar to Vespula, but they're not, they're not quite the same. Taxonomy is God, I could do a whole episode on how weird taxonomy is.
Oh, we've I think we've
So,
brushed against it several times where we're
yeah,
like,
so we're just
uh,
talking Vespula today, and we have in my part of the country we have the eastern yellow jacket. You guys have the western yellow jacket.
oh, look at that.
Yeah, nice and easy. There's also the prairie yellow jacket, which I think they look pretty similar to the western. And then in Europe, there's the German yellow jacket. And I think there are a couple other species, but for us and our listeners, these are the 4 species you're most likely to come across, depending on what region of the world you're in. So enjoy your western yellow jacket. Although I love the species name for the western yellow jacket is Pennsylvanica, and I'm not sure why because that's over here.
Pennsylvanica is a great name. Oh my
It's a good
gosh.
name, but for
That's
the
like
western,
I want Pennsylvanica to be like a spin-off of What We Do in the Shadows about like Amish vampires.
I would watch it as long as Taika Waititi's in charge. I'll watch anything.
Okay, so we're gonna get Letterkenny and What We Do in the Shadows. We're gonna mash them together. Pennsylvanica.
Yeah, Pennsylvanica. But yeah, yellow jackets are. I still can't get over the mauling. That is
That's
a
crazy to me.
lot.
That like you guys all live in the same. I guess
Yeah,
do they hive or do they colony? Because I what
it's a
my
nest. We
experience
just call it a nest.
a nest. Because over here my experience is those big paper balls for lack of better term.
Yeah, yeah.
And
They create these paper structure out of fiber they pick up in the wild,
yeah,
and
okay,
they
so
kind
how
of
do they
chew on it. They chew on it, they macerate it, and then combine it with saliva to create this like paper mache, kind of.
I got in so much trouble with my mother like 2 weeks ago.
What?
She won't
Why?
remember this because I kept pronouncing it papier mâché. And she was like, stop it. I have this whole thing where like I
That's
kind
the
of
real way to pronounce it, is it
well,
is,
I
right?
kind of purposely will be a jerk about like proper pronunciation of art terms. Like I'll say Michelangelo and mom's like, it's Michelangelo. I'm like, who has an art history degree here, mother?
It's the Ninja Turtle. Thank you
It's
very
the ninja.
much.
Michelangelo is a ninja turtle. Michelangelo is an artist. I was looking through some art stuff and there was a lot of jokes about I gotta remember the exact one now. It was like I don't have enough Monet to fill my car with Degas, which they pronounce like Degas, to make my Van Gogh. And I was like, all these names are
Oh,
mispronounced. Every single one. I
did it
appreciate
hurt?
the pun. You know I love a pun. You know I
Yes.
love a pun.
I also love a
But
pun.
I was distracted by like, this is not how any of these names are pronounced. The one that makes me the craziest. Here's a brief aside about name pronunciations. It's not Van Gogh. It's Van Gogh. It's
Oh,
not
because it's Dutch.
because it's
Yeah.
Dutch. Because it's Dutch. And what's the other big one? It's not Alphonse Mucha. It's Alphonse Mucha.
Hmm.
Again, because of where he's from. You know, there's just little things like that that we're just like, yeah, his name's Mucha, and I'm like, it's really not, you guys. It's really, really not.
I'm glad that I know now, because now when I'm reading this stuff,
Yeah, now you can whip
I'll
it out. You can
I'll
be like,
hear it in my
technically
head.
his name's it's not
Is
even Van Gogh.
Van Gogh.
It's Van.
It's the sound
Also,
I make
hands.
when a
Yeah.
wasp stings my mouth.
Perfect. I forgot where we were. We were at the names. We were at names. Yeah. So the difference between bees and wasps. Those wasps have their smooth little bodies
Mhm.
because they got to be sleek. Evil
Very
things
sleek.
are always sleek.
That's
They're in.
true, isn't it? Evil things are
Mm-hmm.
sleek.
Yeah, that's how you know. A bad guy always drives up in like his sleek black car. You know, he's not driving up in like a cute little Volkswagen.
I don't know. I still like them. They're really interesting. They pollinate these because they feed on nectar. Workers feed
You
on
know,
nectar
this
when
is
they're
a
out and about.
pollinator positive podcast.
So we love pollinating. Although kind of
I want that on a t-shirt. We love
pollinating.
pollinating. Sexy.
It's true. You gotta help those plants out because they can't help themselves sometimes. They also they're predators. We love a predator here.
I think
Predators are
that's super
fun.
interesting. We've talked now briefly that they eat meat several times, but
Hmm.
how predatory are they? Because I always see them, like you said, on your chicken at a picnic or on roadkill, maybe. But
Yeah.
are they doing any of the killing, or are
Oh
they purely
yes.
scavenger? Oh,
No,
geez.
they'll go and kill an insect, and this is kind of the neat part is they don't want to bring back a bunch of body parts that are not useful. So they will remove the wings if it's a winged insect. They'll remove the legs. They just want to carry back this nice little packet. And if it's a big insect, they'll remove the head because there's not really a lot of good food in the head.
To put it on a pike outside of their
They should. They
outside of
should.
their
Little
castle to
castles.
warn the other insects. Yeah, we're yellow
And
jackets.
they bring it back to their nest and they chew it up really good. They macerate it, and then they kind of baby bird it into the mouths of their larvae because the larvae are really who are eating that protein.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. That makes sense.
So they're good little sister parents.
I think all these colonies kind of depend on a certain amount of sister parenting.
Yes. Yes.
So is a yellow jacket when they kill a bug, are they going in a group or is it just one little yellow jacket?
They'll kind of go one out at a time, but they will end
Hmm.
up in the same place.
Okay.
Because like I said,
They're not
they
like
can't share
wolves coordinating an attack.
they can't share all the they don't share directions, but they do
Oh,
end up
okay.
in the same place. Yeah, so they don't go very far to scavenge. If, for instance, during if they're finding roadkill or something, they only travel about on average 1,100 feet away from the nests. They're not so bees take a much longer journey to find nectar.
So if I'm encountering a wasp, odds are I'm pretty close to their
You're
nest
close
and
to a
just
nest.
I just don't
Yeah.
know. Either the paper is it paper wasps that make the paper nests? That would
Yeah.
be an apt name. And are yellow jackets also making paper nests, or are they in a tree or
They
the way
make
they are?
them underground or
Mm.
in tree hollows. They'll make them in your attic and anywhere there's like a crevice. The ones that are underground are usually in old rodent dens, wood piles. They like wood piles.
Wood piles,
Uh,
man. They're just they're full
yeah,
of critters. Stay away from those wood piles, you guys.
wood piles are great. You find everything in a wood pile: snakes, beetles, yellow jackets, spiders of all kinds.
And so
I'm a sucker
how
for a wood pile.
love a wood pile. You're like a little beaver over there.
Love a
Yay,
wood
wood
pile.
pile. So how because we talked about how in ants you'll have a ants colony and they can get huge, these
Oh
huge
yeah, yeah.
territories of these ants. How big is a territory of a yellow jacket that I would encounter a second yellow jacket nest? Do they give each other a wide berth or are they pretty close together?
No, they'll fight, so they're probably not too
Yeah.
close
That
together.
was my thought is that they probably are. You want to be too close because then you're going to have to be just mauling one another all
Yeah.
the time.
And they have about at their height in like summer, there's about 5,000 workers. Some colonies can get really really big. Like in the south where it doesn't really freeze very much, you can get 100,000 workers in those
Oh,
kinds of
wow.
colonies. Yeah. And there was one colony in Charleston in South Carolina had 250,000 workers. I can't even imagine what that looked like.
That must have been my brain always goes to those paper nests. So that was a huge paper nest underneath
Really,
someone's
really
eave
big.
of their house.
Yeah, I don't know what they found it in, but that is a large, large nest and pretty unusual. That's an unusual size.
Wasps of unusual size is a horrifying thought.
I found a picture of the nest.
Oh, that's very cool. Look at this nest under someone's porch.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah, it is
Yeah.
huge. This is much bigger than what I imagine a nest to be. So are the yellow jackets like the bees, where they kind of go into this sleepy time torpor? I guess this is probably has a technical term that I'm misusing.
Well, it's okay that if you're misusing a term because they just all die. There's
Oh
no
no! Psych!
so it's fine. The queen lives. So towards the end of the summer, beginning of autumn, they start creating queens and males. And males' sole purpose, just like in our honeybee episode, is to mate with queens and just exist. So they eat honeydew that comes from the larvae of their sisters, which is interesting. And then once winter rolls around, they're not really storing food, so everyone starts to die off. The males and the queens fly out of the hive or the nest and go mate. As soon as the male mates with a queen, he dies and falls to the ground, and then she goes and finds a safe spot to burrow for the wintertime. And then everything starts again in the summer where she comes out, or the spring. She comes out, she'll gather supplies to start the beginnings of a nest, and then she'll make a few cells, lay some eggs, and then depending on the species, if she's got between 4 and 9 or 6 or 7 workers, they take off. They take over the business of creating the hive, and all she does is lay eggs from there on. But yeah, everyone but the queen eats it for the winter.
Well, that's interesting. It's one of the things I've noticed about this podcast is the level of want not, waste not. They just don't waste any amount of byproduct. Oh, the larval's spitting out this honeydew. Time to eat this honeydew. It just, you don't have time to waste around when you're a
Right.
bug.
Well, nature tries to nature doesn't, try, air quote, trying here. They don't try to do anything, but efficiency, energy efficiency is kind of the name of the game for evolution. You don't want wasteful things.
Sorry, I'm realizing that I'm terribly out of proportion with my basic form. I drew. Oh well, little legs on the yellow jacket.
So you've begun the artwork
I just
process?
put a very basic pose that I felt tried to encapsulate maybe the
Is it a sassy
haughtiness.
pose?
It's a sassy pose, but still, I hope, a powerful pose. So last week we talked about last month we talked about the Japanese honeybee. And my instinct is to connect these two in some way. What would the relationship between this yellow jacket and the leader of our bee team be?
Well, they would not be friends because sometimes yellow jackets will go into a honeybee hive and steal their honey.
Oh,
so they're enemies, I would say, but maybe not. But not enemies like the northern giant hornet is an enemy. More just like a little thief. So they come
like
into the hive, they take a
Mhm.
little honey, and they try to get out of there. They don't really go in there and murder all the bees.
So now the next question becomes, if I'm going to make them maybe cheeky little rivals here,
I like that.
do we make them male, female? We do a lot of females on this cast just because I enjoy drawing females, and a lot of bugs just seem to kind of default into referred to as she.
As she.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So what are you thinking? There's precedence on both sides. I think I haven't watched it, but there's a Yellow Jacket show that I believe is like a girly drama in the sense that it's like women killing each other. I'm not sure. Maybe more
that's a
accurate to Yellow
great show.
Jackets.
That is an
do you
excellent.
watch it? Okay.
Oh, it's very, very good. Yeah. I think they would both be. I think female, at least for these colonial insects where the females are the workers. I think drawing them as women or female presenting people is probably the best way to go.
Great. So my my rivals to lovers just get sassier and sassier. I love it. Okay, let me
Oh, they're both infertile though, because they're not queens. Unless you're drawing queens.
They could both be queens. I don't know. All I'm saying is the fanfic writes itself. That's all I'm saying.
It's true. Speaking of Yellow Jackets, so as Derek recommended, I rewatched the last 30 minutes of Ant-Man. I watched it
Yes.
this morning while
The
eating
other Yellow
breakfast.
Jacket character I was going to reference.
Yeah. And I forgot how delightful that movie was. And Paul Rudd. Wonderful.
So much that movie is carried
cute.
on Paul Rudd being like
Adorable.
just ineffably cute. Like you just can't resist him. He's so charming. And because there's a lot of stuff that he does where like if anyone else did it, I'd be like, what a jerk that guy is.
Yeah.
But because it's Paul Rudd ruining like this beautiful father-daughter moment, he's like, yeah, we're doing great, guys. Look at us. You know, and you're like, Paul Rudd, look at him. Look how far we've come, Paul Rudd.
He's so cute.
His charm just carries a lot of the moments in that movie. I think even at different editing choices, and that movie makes Scott Lang a jerk.
Yeah, he's not a good guy. His character is not.
He's
not a bad guy, but he's
not a bad guy. So like, I have some qualms about that movie, none of which have to do with Paul Rudd. But there's like, they try to imply that he was like a good guy because he Robin Hooded all this money. But then they make it clear that that's not the only crime he's committed, because he wouldn't be a career criminal if he only did the one big job. But like clearly he's a career criminal. So like I don't know if that was just like a poor editing choice.
They leave a lot of stuff out in that movie.
Yeah.
One of the things they left out that my husband brought up this morning was, they're inside the computer, and those the Argentine ants are in there with him to blow everything up.
Yeah.
And they're wearing little tiny backpacks. And my husband says, who put all those backpacks on those ants? And how long did it take?
Took a long time. Took the entire life cycle.
It had to be him, because he's the only one who can be small
and put backpack, like they're like his little children off to preschool. He's got to put a little backpack on every single one.
Derek is saying he put the backpacks on earlier in the movie. Was there a scene? Was there a scene of him putting backpacks on ants?
There's like a montage of him getting ready to go. Like they're doing.
But I don't know if he was putting backpacks on the ants. If he was, that would be great. He also
refers to all the ants as boy the whole movie, and like I thought, Loki bothers me.
Well, the flying ones are boys.
Are well? I guess
the flying
you're right.
ones are probably.
Anthony is probably
Anthony.
A boy. Oh, good old Anthony.
R.I.P. Anthony.
R.I.P.
I think that one is actually animated as a queen, though. If you look at her proportions,
she's really big compared to the other. Ants,
but her name
made me think it was.
But her name is Anthony, so she's. I mean,
named for her.
Not Antonia.
Antonia. Antonia. Yeah. Much funnier. I think they missed the chance to name him Anthony Stark in that. I think they should.
That would have been really funny. That would have been good. Well, they should have said,
Marvel, hire me. I could get all your little cute asides. That's my job.
But looking at the Yellow Jacket suit, it was not very Yellow Jacket-like. It shot lasers out of its limbs.
You're telling me that wasps don't shoot lasers?
Can you imagine if wasps shot laser beams?
Knowing how aggro they are, they're just like...
Yeah. We would just see a light show all the time, nonstop. Although it did have 6 legs, so far that's a pretty good insect.
Oh yeah, it had like those...
If you count his limbs, because he had like 2 legs over, and then his arms and legs. I forgot what that actor's name is, who is the villain in that, but he's very, very good.
Yeah.
He's great.
Gave good villain, that is for sure.
Yeah.
I will say
I love him in Billions.
That the Yellow Jacket suit really felt like the in-between between Ultron and what eventually becomes the Iron Spider suit.
Yeah.
Like I feel like design-wise, they all had a very connected story, I guess. And I don't know if that's good. That's good design or bad design. That you could, like, it has a very Marvel branding on it. Like, he kind of looks like Ultron, but he also kind of looks like Iron Spider. Is that good design that I can tell that they're related, or is it bad design that they only can really do the one thing?
Do the one thing. I don't know. If they explained like a history, and this is why they look similar, then I guess it would be okay.
I think they mentioned Tony Stark, so they mentioned Iron Man. But the Iron Man suit is a certain amount of inspiration. It is kind of implied.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because they mentioned that the Iron Man suit is just a suit, but the Ant-Man suit is so much more than that, according to Pym, who of course made the
Pym.
thing, so of course he thinks that. Yeah. So, but Yellow Jacket in that is a villain who shoots lasers,
Yeah.
who shrinks and grows. He can fly in that one, so in that way, he at least has that. He at least has
Got flying.
the flight.
No venom. I didn't notice any venom or a stinger on that suit.
Well, I'm assuming that the lasers take the spot of any sort of
venom?
sting ability. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, speaking of sting ability, have you heard of that pain scale for insects?
That's my other complaint about the Ant-Man movie, is that those guys get bit by like bullet ants. And it is my understanding that they are called bullet ants because it feels like you've been shot with a bullet. And they're just like, ow, oh, ouchie. Oh, these ants are biting me. I don't like it. And I'm like, you would be on the floor, friend.
You'd be crying. You'd be crying. Bullet ants are one of the worst insect bites you can really go through.
Yeah, there's that. What's the? I don't know the name of the pain.
I think
index.
there are 4 on the. So it's called the Schmidt Pain Index, which was created by an entomologist
who just freaking love to get bit by stuff.
So the Schmidt Pain Index was created by entomologist Justin Schmidt. I can't believe he let all of these things sting and bite him.
He's into it. He's into it. We're all just party to his weird thing. Mm-hmm.
And wasps, or specifically the Western yellow jacket, was only a 2. So a 2's not that bad. He describes it as hot and smoky, almost irreverent. Imagine W.C. Fields extinguishing a cigar on your tongue. That's his description.
Okay, I'm sorry. This guy's into being stung, and we've all just been, against my consent, brought into this. I do not care for that at all. He's like, imagine you're laying on a bearskin rug, and then
W.C. Fields just drops a cigar on your tongue.
And you like it because you're bad.
You're naughty. Oh, it's crazy. Although he wrote a book called, I think it was Sting, and I'm only like a little bit of the way through it, and his writing is good. It's easy to understand. If you don't have to be an entomologist or a biologist to read it, but he does seem almost like he likes being stung by insects. So it's
I think he does.
I don't know. I'd have a beer with him. I'm not disparaging him. I would have a beer with this man because I'd love to hear all about this in person. I can't quite recommend the book yet because I haven't finished it, but so far I do like it. But the Schmidt Pain Index. I hope you made a lot of money off of that.
And I think there's a show. I don't remember what it's called. It's called like Pain Kings or Bite Brothers or something.
I hope it's Bite Brothers.
Just us, the Bite Brothers. Welcome back to the Bite Brothers. And they just go around and find things to bite them.
Is that on National Geographic? I
believe it is a National Geographic.
I think my dad loves that show, and he keeps trying to get me to watch it.
It seems like a dad show. For sure. He's just marathoning River Monsters and the Bite Brothers.
He also loves River Monsters.
It's a dad show. It's a
Have
dad
you met
show.
my dad, Amanda?
I feel like I have. I feel like I need to know. I know everything I need to know about your dad. That he loves River Monsters and the Bite Bros. And that he let you wander the woods like a little feral child.
Oh, I was definitely a feral little child. Who brings snakes home, one in each hand? That was me. My dad was like, cool.
Chill.
Very nice. Let's figure out what they are. Then you got to put them back. Oh, man. But I would not let... Like I said, I've never been stung by anything.
That's crazy to me that you've never been stung by anything.
I think they know that I like them.
They know.
They
can smell that you're one of them.
Also, I mean, at least with yellow jackets, they very rarely sting away from the nest. So you're only going to get stung by a yellow jacket, knock on wood, if it's in a soda can and you put it in your mouth. Like, they really don't want to sting you. Or if you hit them, please don't hit them. Like, don't flail around. Yeah. Just wait for them to leave.
That's what they always say, right? You're a kid and the bees or the wasps are near you and you're like, woo! And you start freaking out and the adults are always like, just wait, you just be still. It won't, don't run. It'll chase you like a puma if you run.
Well, I see you, Derek. Derek saying if you see a wasp, then you're near the nest, but you're not close enough. You got to be pretty close.
Yeah.
Um, and also don't crush them, because if you crush a yellow jacket, they release a pheromone that tells all their sisters, you need to
There's
come kill this
somebody.
thing. Yeah,
Oh my
attack, attack,
gosh.
attack.
So
Yeah.
really, don't crush them because it releases a
No.
"Here I am, come, more of you come, more of you come, more of you
Yeah.
come." Because
It's
as
not a
we've
good
discussed,
idea.
they're very aggro.
So, I mean, if they're aggroing each other, they're gonna aggro you too. But but
That
generally,
feels like life advice. If they're aggroing each other, they're gonna aggro you too.
yeah, it's gonna be part of it. But I think they get kind of a bad rep. Like I said, I've never been stung by one, and I've been around them plenty growing up.
Yeah, we've been harsh on them.
So, I understand you don't want them in your house or near your home.
I don't want them at my.
Wait, Derek, will you tell us your Yellow Jacket story this week?
Oh, I don't know if I want to. I may cut this.
You can cut it if you want to, but tell the
Yeah.
story, and then maybe.
So I got a call to go investigate a yellow jacket nest. When I got there, they had marked the nest with landscaping flags, so people knew to avoid the area. But when I got there, it was already gone. A skunk had come and visited and dug it up and ate all of the larvae. So there was just pieces of paper around and a bunch of really confused adults trying to find their nest, and they couldn't find it
Aw.
because it was gone.
That's sad. That's really sad. They spent all that time building that nest, and that queen laid all those eggs, and then a skunk.
Got him.
I hear
Well,
a
we got to
dog.
pause for a second. I'll send you the pictures because there's a
Yeah.
doggy barking.
Yeah. I'm gonna go
Yes,
pee real quick too. I'll be right back. So Amanda, how's that drawing coming? What are the characteristics of this superhero you're working on?
So, because we wanted to connect her to the Japanese honeybee, I've gone again with that sort of
To the B
Sentai.
team?
Yeah, that aesthetic of the full helmet with the
Hmm.
skin tight suit. I've given her shoulder pads because every villain has a good pair of shoulder pads. Even the Green Ranger started with a pair of shoulder pads.
Oh,
When
really?
back when he was back when
boy.
he was a naughty boy. I watched a lot of Power Rangers as a kid. And the green, I'm imagining this sort of similar to the Green Ranger, just because we've done sort of a Sentai thing here.
Well, remember,
Where,
she's not a villain. She's just sassy.
well, like the Green Ranger, I assume that she will be brought over into the B team once she learns the error of her bullying ways. Once she's done harassing all these sister Sentai, she will eventually be like, all right, I'm one of you guys now.
And she's then mauling everyone.
Right. And then her shoulder pad width will decrease because the bigger the shoulder pad, the bigger the pad. I also, because of my anime influence, I imagine she laughs like,
Oh yeah. Definite hand up.
Yes, the
while she's
hand up,
laughing.
you know.
Yeah.
If you know, you know. Memers and anime fans out there will know what I'm talking about. I've given her longer antenna, which I wanted to run by you. The antenna length of a wasp, vis-a-vis a
Longer
honeybee.
than a bee.
Okay, great.
Yeah, yellow
And I will
jackets
keep
have
them-
longer antennae than bees.
And I've tried to keep her, because the stripes is such a honeybee thing, and we didn't give stripes to the Japanese honeybee other than on her side detailing, because we were trying to avoid some of the cliches of like, and she's a bee, so she's striped. So I've actually allowed some more I don't know, pointy stripes to happen on this design. I'd love to give her thigh high boots, because again, I just think
if you look
she
at the abdomen of a yellow jacket and you look at their stripes, the stripes on the top part of their abdomen do come to a little bit of a point in the middle.
Okay, great. So I'll continue to add my pointy desires. I've also put her in a pose that allows you to see both, just a little bit of side boob and that booty bun at the same time, because I felt like that was the sassiest pose.
Oh, she is sassy.
Yeah, well,
and unlike our bee friend, she does not carry pollen on her side, so no cargo pants. She could be much sleeker.
Pants.
Yeah.
Okay. I should
pollen baskets.
It has been referred to as a wasp waist before. So I am giving her quite a small waist as she twists to show you her. How big should these booty buns be? Should I give her a luscious bun, or should she be a little more sleek?
She's a little more sleek. I would say
Okay.
bee has a bit of a bigger booty than a yellow
Okay,
jacket.
great. And I will go
I
with
never thought I'd have to compare bug booties before, but here we are.
Why create your own podcast if you're not just going to compare bug booties?
Next season, nothing but bug booties.
How many booties do you give this bug?
On a scale from honeybee to wasp, how is that booty?
how that booty do?
I think Derek has
That's
shared images with us in the there we go.
Yeah, I'll try to add some of this.
Yeah, and the dots on either side of that stripe are kind of pretty.
Yeah, we really think of it as stripes, but they're not necessarily striped as much as they're, because like a tiger is striped.
Well, if you look at that one image Derek sent, you can see how the abdominal striping or abdominal detail is a pretty easy way to differentiate who's who of the Vespula world. Who's wearing what?
And we gave the honeybee had this firepower. What matching rival power do you give her rival turned friend, possibly lover? I'm going full.
You're really going
here. Yeah. I want a Catra Adora. I want the whole thing. That's what I want. So with Japanese honeybee, we gave her the firepower because she had this unique, I'm going to heat you up till you are no more power. So what rivaling power can we give to the rival character, possibly Catra Adora character, that can kind of rival her fire powers? What's her specialty move?
Well, I think that that alarm pheromone is kind of cool. So what if she could replicate herself?
Oh, that's interesting. Like an illusion power seems like illusion power.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, which one am I? Very villainy, very useful. Eventually,
very fun.
Yeah, very good. Yes. I love this. Okay, then I'm gonna have to make some like replicants of her. Just copy paste, right? That's what real artists do. They copy paste. All right, let me add some hard.
How would you do that? Do you do like a fade out a little bit?
Yeah, typically. I've done it before where it's teleporting and you kind of have to do like the same character at 50% and then 20% and then.
Well, that's cool. The B team grows. It's a good time.
Okay, I'm tossing the whip into the art tag here. Where'd she go? There she is. Oh, and I'll toss the bee in here too, so you could be reminded of who she's meant to like.
Oh, she is sassy looking. I like her. Look at those boots.
Yeah. I thought the boots were the best part.
Look at those boots. She looks great. The tiny little waist. Very waspy. Very wasp-like. Nicely done as always, Amanda.
She gets a bad rap, but she's. Why do I want her in my garden, Kelly? Why do I want this yellow jacket to come visit me? Why should I not smush them when I have the opportunity?
Well, I mean, we already know don't smush them because then you summon the rest of them.
Right, of course. Oh, I need to add her like duplicate powers.
Well, they eat basically everything. So they'll eat aphids off of your plants. They'll eat problematic insects that you don't want in your garden.
They're making like casual racist jokes.
But yeah, they're not so bad. Like I said, I think they get a bad rep, and they're really, as long as you're not trying to eat them accidentally, you're probably fine. Unless you're allergic, then by all means, you should do everything you can to not have them in your yard. And there are yellow jacket traps you can hang that do that.
Oh, yeah, those here, they're big yellow ones, like with the cone. And I've heard that you're supposed to replenish those often.
Yeah, you can't just do one for the whole summer.
You can't one and done the whole summer. Because at my house, we do the apple cider vinegar thing for the fruit flies. And you have to replace that apple cider vinegar like all the time. I feel like every 10 days I'm replacing it. So I don't know why the yellow jacket one would be different other than it's outside and I forget it's there.
I think that's probably the thing. People just forget that they put them out there. Or you go out there, you do your gardening and you see it and go, oh yeah, maybe I should replenish that. And then you go back inside and you've already forgotten about it.
Correct.
So kind of a cute thing, I guess it's sort of cute, is that the yellow jacket has a little butler, a little fly butler.
Pardon moi? A little butler? What are you talking about?
They have these cute little butler flies. There are two species of muscid flies, which are just like houseflies, and they lay their eggs on top of the nest envelope where the nest begins. And once the eggs hatch, the larvae fall down under the nest, and those little larvae eat all of the detritus around the nest and the waste from the wasps themselves, and they kind of tidy things up, so it keeps the nest clean underneath.
Why am I only just hearing about this now? That they've got like, because we've talked about aphid farms, we've talked about mushroom farms, but the wasp keeps a staff. They have staff.
She's got a staff. Yeah, she's a regal queen, and she has a butler.
I like the whole vibe that she's
Little
giving
fly
off. Frankly,
yeah.
She's like, clean up my mess, butler fly. Oh, you'll be rewarded handsomely with bits of chicken from a picnic.
It's kind of adorable. So she's giving you those Bruce Wayne vibes with her very own butler.
Yes, although I assume that the butler didn't raise her poorly. Didn't raise her to have horrible, crushing mental health issues.
The flies are not involved in the raising of the yellow jackets, just the cleaning.
Because the paper is such a unique thing to wasps, I think we have to incorporate that somehow.
Right.
And the only thing I can think of is giving her, because we've already given her like this kind of this illusion creation power, is expanding that to giving her like a shield power where she can like summon shields. I'm trying to think like kind of like how the Ms. Marvel kind of did the armor thing where like she shoots up these like light shields. I'm thinking
she can do paper versions.
She could do. Yeah, I hope that her shields are stronger than paper. But maybe we can like incorporate some of that swirly, waspy paper.
The pattern is really beautiful.
I've seen some really beautiful wasp nests.
Oh yeah.
I have that thing with holes. I don't like holes.
Oh, you have that phobia.
It's not too bad, but like longer than just like a couple seconds, I'm like, ugh. And like honeycombs aren't so bad because they're regular. It's something about the irregularity of it.
Huh.
I don't know. I don't know. I can't help how this crazy brain works. But they have that honeycomb shape just like bees do. I assume because that's a strong shape.
It's a very strong shape. Yellow jackets build these cells where they put their larvae in and the eggs into, and then they cover it with this sort of papery shielding on the outside. And the covering is unique to yellow jackets because there are other paper wasps and they don't do this big cover over them.
Okay, so I'm thinking something kind of similar to like the Ms. Marvel show gave her those, or maybe Violet from The Incredibles, where like they can summon up a shield sort of thing, and then the styling of it is in those little
that swirl, right? That beautiful paper swirl,
and that hex. I'm just thinking more that the cell shape because then you could stack them on each other.
Yeah, I can see that.
Okay, great. And of course, it is a metaphor for her closed offedness before she lets her friends in, before she learns the power of friendship.
Oh, you've gone full.
I've gone full anime over
full
here.
Anime.
Full anime. You never go full anime. To which I say, not anime enough. I want to believe in the power of love. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. People in the audience, if you know, you know.
So I think we went into this and you didn't have positive feelings about the yellow jacket. How are you feeling about them now?
It's hard. I just any bug that like raises my ear, just like past, I'm like anti, because it gives you the heebies. It just does. It's just in your lizard brain that you're like, of course we are a pollinator positive podcast, the triple P. We what he said earlier, like we love pollinating.
We love pollinating.
That makes me have more positive feelings. Knowing that they're like out there scavenging, that they're out there, they're doing the work. Something about this character has made me like them more. That they're like they're putting in the time.
Yeah, they're eating detritus. They're eating rotting things. They're
it
eating
just feels less like
problematic insects. They're cool.
out there just stinging me for fun, and now I feel more like she's a boss beezy. She's just like, don't mess with me, I'm a wasp. Ha 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 ha. And I'm like, I respect that more for some reason.
That's
She's
good. I'm glad you're having
uh,
slightly more positive feelings.
yeah, she's like going out with her friends, getting a little turned.
Oh, definitely getting turned off that
Definitely getting turned.
fermented apple juice.
She has a cool jacket. Why does she have a cool jacket? Oh, because she's a yellow jacket. Of course. Oh, why is it? Is there a motorcycle gang named the Yellow Jackets, and do they wear yellow jackets? Because I feel like that's a misstep if they don't.
They should.
They
There's a lot of
should.
mascots. There's a lot of university and high school
A
mascots
lot of yeah, we have
that are
not
yellow jackets. Yeah,
discussed at all that they're a common mascot. I think again because
very
they're kind
common.
of that aggroness lends itself to a
I think so.
yeah
Well,
aggro.
there's also a bunch of trees called yellow jackets.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah, and then there used to be a thing. So I found this old newspaper from Washington from the 70s, 1970s, and it had mentioned if you saw a lot of yellow jackets and hornets in the summer, it meant you were going to have a really hard winter. And I'm pretty sure
Oh,
that's probably a way older folk tale than just the 1970s, but that's where I found it. I thought that was kind of fun. It's very
so
Farmer's
like the
Almanac.
woolly bear, she's out here being
Yeah,
like,
she's
hold
trying
on,
to
let me
predict the
lick my
weather.
finger, lick, and then put it in the wind like those golfers do. She's like, yeah, it's gonna be a harsh winter. Sorry guys. My bad.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. How many legs are you willing to give our friends,
How
the
many
Yellow
legs?
Jackets?
I've really come around on it. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna give her like a good 4 legs. I feel like could sting me less. Could sting me personally less.
Would they get another leg if you didn't?
If I personally had not had
Would you
this
do like a 5 out of
traumatic
6
experience.
if you didn't have a traumatic experience with them?
I don't know. I feel like as a kid, I hated them because you always have to like run away from where they're at. If there's a nest of them, your parents like get out of there right now because like absolutely, this could easily become a my girl situation where no one can see without their glasses, and I don't need that. But as an adult, I think I respect it. I respect it. You're
Mm,
doing your thing, and
you're living your
I
life.
yeah, I think I just have a lot of respect for like apex creatures that seem like they're doing the most. Like
That's not really how we define apex, but I'm gonna let you I'm gonna let you use it that way.
yes, fair. Like because certainly things are eating wasps. I don't mean to
That
say like because
that
the
should be
apex I believe is like nothing eats you.
that should be an Amanda like t-shirt quote. Apex, because you're doing the most.
Because you're doing the most. Apex of trying. Well, just that, like they're not resting on their laurels. These
They're
wasps.
not.
They're doing the most. They're eating meat. They're bringing it back. If anyone messes with them, they're gonna mess you up. They're gonna pull out a switchblade and let you have it. They don't care.
Repeatedly.
They're kind of like the gang from West Side Story, where like they sing and dance, but they will also still stab you. Okay, like don't play. They're singing and dancing. They're part of the team, but they will still mess you up.
What's nice about this podcast is I think what I'm trying to do when we're talking about them is hopefully get people to have a little bit of a better appreciation for some of the insects we see as villains or as
Yes, fair enough.
dangerous or not cool. I think I would also give them probably 4 out of 6, maybe 5 out of 6 legs because I've never been stung.
You don't
But
have personal injury
I don't
grievances.
no, I have no trauma associated to the yellow jacket. But yeah, I like them. I think they're neat. I think everything is neat though, so I'm probably super biased. I don't think I've given too many low scores yet because I like everything.
I mean, that's fine. That's why we have you to be the bug lady.
I guess that's why I'm here.
That's why you're here.
And as always, listeners, a reminder to go to our Instagram page to see Amanda's finished products. And sometimes we do little updates.
I kind of want listeners, if you want to worm your way into my beloved heart, as I know you do, listeners.
I'm nervous about whatever this is going to be.
We always accept fan art here on the cast. Here on the
yeah.
pod, we are fan art positive. If you want the Ladybug and Isabella Tiger Moth out for the town, and they they meet up with Yellow Jacket at the bar, and they're all getting turned. Paint me a picture. That's all I'm saying.
Oh my god,
Fan
I
art
would
me.
love to see fan art. Please give us all your
Not,
fan
you
art.
mean not just from me drawing Isabella and the woolly bear? They have somehow, those two have just really, really gotten to me. Something about those two is
You are
just like,
obsessed with Isabella Tiger Moth. You really
I
are.
love Isabella Tiger Moth. She has become like my go-to. Like I just have to like sketch. I just have to sketch, and I will just draw Isabella. Like I send them to you once I feel like they've reached like a.
I love them. I can't get enough. I can't get enough. So good.
So like, oh, I got a color. Oh, I'll just color that sketch I did to warm up my like color thinking juices. And so like after 10 minutes a day, pretty soon I've got this like pretty done sketch of Isabella and Woolly Bear just being like, hey. So and the shoujo inclinations really show themselves in Isabella Tiger Moth.
Yeah, that most recent one you sent, she's very
Oh yeah,
yeah,
she's
she
going
looks
full
great.
shoujo.
She
She's
looks
like
excellent.
spinning, and there will be like a magical transformation with like flower petals and moth wings flying in every direction.
Ooh, nice.
And
Little
yes.
moth wings.
Mm-hmm. Rotunda, did we get everything about the wasps? Or anything you'd like to add?
Oh, Rotunda. Oh, I heard a little whoop.
Yeah, a little brrr, and then some purrs. The loudest purrs on the planet from Rotunda. Okay, all right. Well, as always, you guys can find us on the subreddit, Bugs Need Heroes, Instagram, Bugs Need Heroes, Twitter, I think technically also Bugs Need Heroes.
Send us email. Send us email
Send us
questions.
email.
We
Talk
love
to
feedback.
us. Everyone hates the like, oh, like and subscribe, but like, talk to us. That's what
Talk
we
to
really
us.
want. Yes.
I mean, leave us nice reviews. We're always happy about that.
Yeah, so that more people can discover us and learn that wasps are your friends eventually. Someday. All right. What are we doing next week? Chocolate?
Yes.
Okay. In time for Christmas. Thanksgiving.
Bugs Need Heroes is created by Derek Conrad and Kelly Zimmerman, hosted by Amanda Niday and Kelly Zimmerman. Bugs Need Heroes is produced and edited by Derek Conrad. Our music is Ladybug Castle by Roll Music. All character art by Amanda Niday. Got a bug question? Email us at bugsneedheroes@gmail.com. Check us out on bugsneedheroes.com for the visual companion to our episodes with the artwork of the bug-related heroes. We also have an Instagram, Twitter, and subreddit under the Bugs Need Heroes name. Thanks for coming by.
That little clip we usually have at the way end of the podcast should just be Amanda going, Michelangelo.
Michelangelo. Oh, Michel. Good old Michel. Michelangelo. Michelangelo. Michel. My good friend Michelangelo.